What's up, everybody? It's Alex Leak and Friends NBA podcast. Back on for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got Dustin back on the show. Dustin, good to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me as always.
Yep, and we got a special guest back on for the second time on the show, Ricky G. Ricky G, good to have you on.
I appreciate you guys giving me some time.
Yeah, we love having you on. Former longtime basketball coach. He's been following the NBA since the 1960s, and one of the best NBA Twitter follows at J. Richard Goodman. If you want some good NBA Twitter follow. Your following's gotten a little crazy recently, huh? You're dealing with a lot of people, a lot of fanboys and stuff, huh?
My line is crazy. You know, Twitter's interesting. Everybody wants followers. Everybody wants to get big. That creates more chaos than it's worth. But I'd rather have 100 basketball guys on my line. But you know, it is what it is. I appreciate the following. Obviously, you know, I have some people that like what I say, and I have some people that don't like what I say. But it's all just an opinion. But yeah, Twitter's wild sometimes.
You do a good job of dealing with them, so
I try to.
Yeah. So let's get this started. The Lakers got eliminated by the Phoenix Suns in the first round, 6 games. How surprised were you by this outcome? A lot of Laker fans thought, even though they're the 7th seed, that they can repeat and go deep into the playoffs. Were you surprised to see them get knocked out in the first round?
Well, I think injuries played a big part in it.
Yeah.
I don't think the Lakers are hard. I just sent off a tweet about 3 or 4 minutes ago about the Lakers' issues moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got to make roster changes. They got to find out how they want to play next year. But the problem is, I think the Lakers were just fine before the injuries.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But the Lakers have got to get quicker. In my opinion, the Lakers are a slow basketball team.
Yeah.
They've got to get – and now the discussion is, does AD play the 5 full-time or play the 4? You know, the Lakers and the Warriors fans are interesting to me. The Warriors fans want Curry on the ball. Ball dominant, but Curry, the Warriors prefer him not to be ball dominant, be off the ball. Lakers fans want AD on the 5 full time, and the Lakers and AD don't want to play the 5 full time.
Yeah.
So here we go again. Fans fighting chip coaches.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing to me how fans will think they're smarter than chip coaches.
They have a way of thinking that. Now, what do you think of LeBron specifically in this series? In Game 3, they're going up 2-1. Everything's roses. LeBron's kind of like clowning Jay Crowder, and everyone, Drummond's on the bench doing, imitating LeBron and having fun. And then they lose 3 straight. Anthony Davis injury was part of it. But part of it also was LeBron in 3 straight games. I saw a video of him not getting back on defense even, and not being all in my opinion. Did you see some of that?
I actually did. I tweeted that. I think it was their first loss. LeBron, see, here's what LeBron does. See, people talk about minutes with big star players.
Yeah.
And they use LeBron as the barometer. Well, you can't do that. I'll give you an example. Curry's minutes versus LeBron's minutes are 2 different things. Why? Curry's got to play out on top and guard guards, and he's got to create off the guard position. He's going to do it both ways. LeBron can take the ball and play the point guard and create on offense, but on defense, he'll go stand in that lower block. He'll stay there. He won't close out. He won't help. And he just rebounds and goes the other way.
Yeah.
So what he does is he puts the Lakers in a 4 versus 5 on defense. And then when he doesn't get back in transition, now you're really in trouble. That's what he did in Cleveland when he played for Ty Lue.
Yeah.
Ty Lue, that Cleveland team was the worst team in transition defense because LeBron at times will refuse to get back. So that is a problem.
I don't know if you remember when the Heat were playing the Celtics, and Rondo said, "We're taking advantage of the Heat complaining about calls in transition."
Well, that's half the league right now. That's got to drive coaches nuts. Half the league bitches on calls and don't get back on defense. Donkeys does it bad. Joker does it bad. They all do it. Draymond Green does. They all do it.
Luka is pretty bad at it too.
I'll give Luka a little bit for the doubt. He's still a kid.
Yeah, I like it. Go ahead, Dustin.
Alrighty, so the Suns beat the defending champs and now face the Denver Nuggets in the second round. The Suns lead 2-0. What do you think of this series?
1-0.
1-0, yeah.
comes out of this series, and were you surprised that Nikola Jokic won the MVP?
No, I think Jokic was the MVP. He played in every game, and he's got
Yeah.
the numbers. I mean, you could make a case for Joe Embiid, but he missed too many games. You know, it's the MVP. The problem with the MVP award, it's a narrative. It's not about who the best player. It's a narrative. So I don't pay too much attention to it, but I think Jokic deserved it.
What do you think of Derrick Rose getting that fan vote?
You know, I saw that. See, here's the problem. Here's where Twitter gets in trouble. You get some knucklehead that gets to vote that's never played the game in his life, probably.
Yeah.
Like the guy on ESPN that wrote an article saying Drummond can get 30-30 and not affect the game. Anybody that gets 30-30 affects the fucking basketball game. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I mean, some of the shit these people say. I mean, here's the biggest problem: people actually read it and believe it.
Yeah.
See, that's my frustration. I mean, some of these people will go argue with somebody. I'll give you an example. People will argue with chip coaches because of shit they read from a 5'10" nerd that never played.
Yeah. I've seen them doing that. I've seen them going at like George Karl. It's like, you don't even know who that is.
Exactly. You know, the Gobert's a perfect example. Anybody thinks Gobert's a fraud never played fucking basketball.
Yeah.
Try to shoot over a 7'2" athletic man with arms like gasoline hoses. He changes like 10 to 12 shots. I just don't understand people sometimes. But again, you know, I need to stop being a bastard. You know, if people haven't played and they want opinions, I get it. But when they start telling people who have played or who have been in it long enough, see, there's people that are students of the game. They want to learn.
Yep.
Then there's fans of the game. They want to teach.
Yeah.
Who the fuck they teaching?
Yeah, you got to do your research. You got to watch all the old games. YouTube is free for all these fans that want to know the game and want to talk it. Go watch it.
Well, and the other problem is if you never played, it makes it. You know, as a 6'3" guard, and way back in the dinosaur days,
yeah,
any 6'11", 7-foot athletic guy, they put their presence on you in every possession. I remember playing against the kid that went to Arizona State. He played JC ball. He was a pro. Sam Williams.
Yeah.
Man, when you drove down the lane, you saw him out of the side of your eye. That motherfucker played above the box. You had to know where he was every possession on offense. And that's just, you know, people don't get that. And I don't understand. It's just like Dwight Howard. He put his presence on an offense every time down the court. Marc Gasol, people look at him and fuck him. I'm going to the rim. You know, it's amazing to me how we get in arguments over this.
The people will argue anything these days, especially on Twitter.
Well, I know too many. You know, here I learned something from. I don't know if you follow. I follow a guy by the name of Schoon, and I learned a lot from Schoon.
Okay.
Schoon, and he's an older black man. He's a G, very smart. He said something that day caught my ears. He said, "I'm smart enough to know what I don't know."
Yeah.
See, there's too many people on Twitter. They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah. So looking back, I mean, Suns Nuggets tonight. I think I'm leaning Suns to go up 2-0. Do you like Phoenix to win this series? Denver.
I do.
Yeah, Denver's biggest thing, in my opinion, if they had a healthy Jamal Murray, they could go a lot further, but they don't.
Well, Denver's playing with a backcourt. One's a third-string point guard. The other one was sitting at home a month ago.
Yeah.
So, but you know the Phoenix Suns. I've been watching them here a little bit lately. They're impressive.
Yeah.
They're not a bad basketball team. I like them in the Denver series. Now, here's something I just tweeted a few minutes ago. In fact, I tweeted right before you brought me on.
Yeah.
You know what the line is tomorrow night in Game 3?
No.
Take a guess.
I have no idea. Go ahead, tell me.
Milwaukee -3.5.
Really?
Yeah. The books are begging you to bet the Nets.
What do you think on that?
I don't trust the Bucks no more. Bucks ain't getting no more of my money.
Me neither, because I got friends that every playoffs they're picking Giannis and the Bucks to represent the East and go to the finals. And every year I'm like, I got to see it to believe it.
I'm done with the Bucks until Bucks have got a lot of problems from where I sit. Number
Yeah.
one, I think they've overvalued their roster. They're giving too many guys minutes that shouldn't be getting that many minutes. They're giving starter minutes less minutes. They don't have a playmaker. Here's something that I learned last week that caught me off guard. Are you guys aware that the Milwaukee Bucks are third in ISO in the NBA?
Really? No.
Yeah, they're third. The Nets are two.
You wouldn't think of the Bucks being so ISO heavy.
No, and what they're doing is they're playing right into the Nets' hand. They're coming down in ISO ball. They're shooting first shot available. The Nets are getting in transition and playing in space. They're playing downhill. That's a bad combination. You're going to get blasted.
Yeah.
You don't think that Chris Middleton is a good second to Giannis?
Middleton's a good second to anybody. The problem with Middleton, he struggled. And if you don't make shots, I don't care what you are.
Yeah. In my opinion,
go ahead.
I mean, in my opinion, I think a lot of it starts with Giannis. Honestly, he needs to take the next step. And I mean, it's all about dudes, right? It's about Kawhi. It's about KD. It's about LeBron. Giannis needs to take the next step.
Let me add one more thing to that. I think there's a couple things I'm well known for on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Dudes. It's about dudes.
Yep.
And the other thing I think that I've been very passionate about from the day I've jumped on Twitter. I evaluate every basketball player in the NBA on the last 4 teams standing. How does his game translate? Yeah. There's a lot of stars in the league. The game don't translate the last 4 teams standing. See, stars you can scheme. Dudes eat schemes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of that, Nuggets Blazers, Damian Lillard in my opinion, Lillard was doing everything. What do you think on the Blazers? I mean, do they have a ceiling? Can they take the next step and start contending in the West? What do you think?
I'll break that team up.
Yeah.
I don't know. You gotta make. See, here's a question, and this will probably get some attention. Can you win a chip as Dame Lillard as your number one?
No, I'd rather him be number 2.
See, I think so. I think today. I mean, Curry, you can probably get away with it if you got the right combinations with it.
Uh-huh.
But I think any 6'3" guy has to be a number 2. I don't know if a 6'3" guy can be a number 1. Maybe not. I don't know.
What do you think of 6'3" Derrick Rose, MVP Derrick Rose? Did you think that with another couple of years, no injuries, he could be the number 1 and win a championship? No.
I think Derrick Rose, to be honest, is a 6th man for the right team.
Yeah.
Let him play minutes in the first half, but let him close. I think starting him and playing a lot of minutes doesn't do him good.
Yeah, I feel like Tibbs panicked starting.
Well, I don't think Tibbs had any choices.
Yeah. What about?
That's another problem we have with this year's NBA. How do you evaluate these teams? I mean, one minute you think a team is okay, and then after they're gone, you see the next team struggle. They're not okay. Yeah. I mean, like how good are the Nets? I don't know. The Bucks right now, to me, are very bad.
Yeah.
The Celtics weren't healthy, so I don't know. We'll see.
Dustin, go ahead, number 4.
Alrighty, so the Clippers just came off a hard-fought Game 7 series after falling 0-2 to the Mavs. Were you impressed with the Clippers never giving up, and how impressed were you by Luka and the Mavs?
Well, I thought Luka and the Mavs gave the Clippers everything they wanted. The problem with the Mavs, they don't have any defenders to defend. They had to go zone, and their bench really got real short. And Luka, as great as he is, they got to find a better balance. They're not going to win the chip with him that ball dominant. They got to find another situation. Now, to the Clippers in Utah, I think the Clippers will be fine. I think they lost the game last night because of Game 7. I think late in the game they faded. I think they lost their legs. And I think Game 7 had an effect on them. I think the Clippers will be fine.
I agree.
Do you think Paul George is going to be the reason why the Clippers lose? I mean, playoff George, it doesn't do too well lately.
Paul George is good last night, although other than shooting 4 for 17.
Mm-hmm.
He gave you 20-10. He plays 2 ways. I mean, see, here's the interesting thing about Paul George. A few weeks ago on Twitter, the Wiggins Paul George came up, or the Warriors getting Paul George. The same people that wanted my Warriors team to give up 19 picks, Wiseman, Wiggins, bag of balls, new traveling bags, all that stuff for Paul George. And then the next day they'll tweet and tell you how bad Paul George is in the playoffs. So why the fuck are we trading everything for a guy who can't play in the playoffs? I mean, there's no consistency on Twitter.
Yeah.
Either Paul George can play or either he can't. But if he can't play, let's say that he can't play. But if he can play, let's stay to that. But don't tell me 1 minute he can play, he can't play, and then the next minute ask a team to trade everything for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Who do you think wins the West? Yeah, go ahead.
Man, I think here's what I think. I think Utah's a tough team. They got the 7th game. I don't know, but to me, I don't think there's one team you could actually say they can win the West.
Mm-hmm.
I'll reverse it on you. I think Utah can win the West. I think the Clippers can win the West. I think the team you better watch out for in the West is Phoenix.
Yeah. I think Phoenix Clippers would be a hell of a conference finals.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers beat the Jazz, and I wouldn't be surprised if they lost to the Jazz.
Yeah. Well, Devin Booker, I mean, for a while there, I thought of Booker a lot like Zach LaVine. And I think Booker has taken a step forward and is being he's being with the same need.
I think Booker and Mitchell have kind of moved away from all the guys they're compared with. I think they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Are they dudes yet? I don't know if they're dudes yet, but they're getting close.
Yeah. Dustin, you can go number 7 here.
All right. The Nets cruise past Celtics in 5, and even with James Harden missing both games, Nets lead the Bucks to 12. Can anyone stop the Nets and how explosive they are? And when healthy, are they the best team we've ever seen
offensively?
Well, first of all, the best teams I've ever seen is the Lakers in '71 that won 33 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
The Celtics the year they had Walton.
Yeah.
And Bird, Magic Showtime, and the Bulls and the Warriors. Now, before we put the Nets in that category, they're going to have to, first of all, they got to win a chip, but they're going to have to defend. I mean, see, here's the problem with the Nets. We're crowning the Nets after watching them play 6 games, 4 of them with the Celtics and 2 of them with the damn Bucks.
Right.
We got, I'm not saying the Nets aren't who we say they are, but damn it, let's wait. Let's let them play somebody.
Well, who are they going to play in the East? I think the Nets run through the East.
Well, I don't know about that. Embiid could cause them a lot of problems.
Embiid could.
Embiid, he can cause the Nets some problems. But the Nets might get by. But now back to the question. Do I think the Nets – see, here's the Nets' weakness. Rebounding and interior paint defense.
Yeah.
See, I think the Lakers had the right idea. See, the reason why the Lakers went and got Drummond is when Harden went to the Nets, said, we can't beat these cats in space. We can't match them. We can't match them small ball. We're too slow. So they said, let's go get Drummond or another big. Let's pound the shit out of them and make them play defense and win the game on the glass. I think they had the right vision, but the Lakers didn't get there. Because if you watch the Nets play, Lopez looks like an All-American in the paint against the net. What is somebody that's really a skilled big going to look like against him?
Yeah. Well, my thing is this. I agree with you. The Nets don't play much, especially interior defense and all that. But I think they play perfectly the style of the game the way it's going. It's like now, even in the playoffs, it's so offensive biased that how do you stop this Nets team? Even a great defensive team, how do you stop this Nets team with the touch fouls and not truly being able to defend them?
The only recipe to beat the Nets, number one, you got to make them play defense, and I mean second or third pass. You got to make them play both sides of the court on defense. Number two, you got to make them defend the paint, and you got to make them rebound. You got to pound them to stop them from playing their style. See, the best way to beat the Nets is more possessions and less possessions. What that means is offensive and defensive rebounding. Yeah. If you can't do that, and if you come out and shoot 6 for 43, you're not beating it. If you shoot 6 for 43, you're not beating anybody.
Yep, absolutely. Dustin, you want to go 9?
Yeah. So the 76ers cruised past the Washington Wizards in the first round and split their first two at home versus the Hawks. Who do you think wins this series? And does either team have the ability to take down the Brooklyn Nets?
Well, if Embiid stays healthy, I think the Sixers win that series. And yes, they have a chance to beat the Nets. Will they? I don't know. But their strength is a Nets weakness. See, the only way you're going to beat the Nets is your strength is their weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you got no shot. I mean, we can just crown them right now. You're not going to beat the Nets. I'll give you an example. You're going to put you a 5 small ball team together and go play the Nets 5 small ball team. You're going to get your ass right off the court and get lit up. That's not going to work. The only way to beat them is less possessions and more possessions. Back to the glass. You have to beat them on the board. And when you beat teams on the board and they got to take that ball out of the net, now you have a chance. If you don't beat them on the boards and you don't shoot a high percentage, you got no chance.
Yep. Now, I've been a little bit of a Trae Young hater, but he's really impressed me this year in this playoff run especially. But do you think, I mean, I don't think he's a dude yet. Maybe he is. Maybe he's winning me over. But I think more, he's like an ideal number 2 option. What do you think of Trae Young? He's been super impressive.
Well, first of all, I've been giving Trae a lot of love lately. Yes, he's been super impressive. But I got to go back to what I said a little while ago. Can you win with a 6'3" guard as your first option, number 1? Number 2, evaluate players on the last 4 teams standing.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yep.
Now, when we see that, then we can start talking about it. But until we get to that point, we gotta wait because the problem with Trae, when you get to the last 4 teams standing, our team's going to try to scheme him off the court with traps, and are they going to attack him on defense? Now, if he survives that, now the whole conversation changes. Yeah. But until I see that, I'm going to stick to my small guard theory. See, the problem is, Twitter thinks I hate Trae. I don't hate Trae. I hate small guards. I hate them small guards. I go in the gym, if I'm recruiting today and I see some little guard out there carrying thing, I don't even want to see him. I don't care if he got 50. I don't want him. Because eventually small guards will get you fired. Small guards will set you up for failure. Because at some point in time, you're going to run into a team that's going to have length, long, and athletic, and that small guard will get eaten.
Oh, yeah. Ben Simmons on defense can definitely cause some issues, and the Sixers, yeah.
You don't like small shooters?
I'm sorry?
You don't like small shooters?
I don't like small guards, period, as a 1. Now, if you want small guards in your team, fine, but not as a 1. I like Brunson of Dallas. That's a good small guard. Lowry's a great small guard, but he's built like a tank. I don't like Kemba. You couldn't give me Kemba Walker.
How does Steph Curry, because Steph Curry is about that, a 6'3" guard, how did he win before KD?
Oh, you really want to set Twitter on fire, don't you? Okay, let's go to that. How did the Warriors win with Steph Curry as the number 1? How'd that do it? Steve Kerr put movement in. Steve Kerr put defenses 50 feet apart. Steve Kerr went small ball, recognized Draymond Green's talents. Yeah. Steve Kerr switched 1 through 5. The league got caught off guard, wasn't prepared. Rosters weren't built for the Warriors. They come out and lit everybody's ass up because they couldn't guard him in space. They couldn't help on defense because they were stretched out. And Kerr and Curry, let me clear this. Kerr and Curry changed NBA rosters. So they got away with it for 2 years. Once the league built their rosters and caught up, now things changed. See, Steph Curry's running the bubble as far as my small guard. But here's the difference between Curry and Trae Young. Curry will compete on defense. Curry will get out on top and guard the other team's point guard. Trae don't want no part of it.
Yeah.
Trae just wants to stand in the corner. See, I think at some point in time that's going to get exposed. When, I don't know. And if it don't, then so be it. I mean, Tibbs and Doc right now don't care about it. They don't even go after it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Because you would think, I mean, that's what everyone says, double Trae and force him to get rid of it.
Well, yeah, first of all, I trap him. But see, people think to go after somebody, you got to put him in isolation. No, you don't. Mm-hmm. I'll give you an example. Nobody in the league guarded Draymond Green, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he's out on the perimeter, correct?
Yes.
Go take his ass and stick him in a block. Watch. They'll put a defender in there. Now they have to guard him. Point being, you can't attack Trae because you have nobody could put him in ISO. That's okay. Put it in movement, put it and run a screen action, put his ass on the block with somebody bigger than him and make him guard that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Dustin, go ahead and do 10.
So, the big question: who finishes the season as the NBA champion for 2021?
Well, I mean, I've got a huge future on the Nets. I'm gonna stick to it. But I mean, the Nets are the favorite, and the Nets are, see, the problem is with the NBA this year is how do we really know right now? I mean, first of all, even if Hard comes back with that hammy, he's not going to be 100%, and he's going to be afraid to explode because he's going to be afraid to rip it. So, again, we got to see the Nets play somebody, and right now they haven't played anybody. But I still like the Nets.
You know, my guy in the Nets right now is Blake Griffin. He's that glue guy, that energy. He's bringing it.
He is bringing it, but again, it's the Celtics and the Bucks.
Yeah.
Who do the Bucks have for Blake? See, my problem with the Bucks, again, they got these guys on the bench that the Bucks fans and Bud think their bench is strong and deep. See, I think the Bucks' weakness right now is their bench, not their strength. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm sitting in a cave. I don't know, but I mean, I look at their role players coming out here, and these guys, they're not going to beat guys like Blake Griffin on the Nets and Joe Smith.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's been a lot of Drew Holiday love and calling him the best perimeter defender in the game. Are you buying the Drew Holiday love? That upgrade, him over Bledsoe, was supposed to be the difference, right?
Well, that's what they tell us. But Drew's been playing good.
Yeah.
I don't think Drew's a problem. In fact, Drew might be their real strong point right now. Besides, I mean, see, here's the problem with Giannis. Giannis can go out and get you 30 and 15 rebounds, blah blah blah, and that's great. And you need those numbers. But then somewhere in that game, Giannis is going to come down and have 3 to 4 bad possessions all by himself.
Yeah.
That Nets team takes those 3 and 4 possessions, and they go their way, and now they're on a 9 to 12 point run, and now the Bucks are in trouble.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the current, do you like the current NBA? I have beef with a lot of what's going on in the current NBA. Even in the playoffs, it's become riddled with touch fouls, weak technicals and flagrants, poor shot selections, and bad defensive effort. What do you think of the game? What do you think about where the game is right now?
Did you see my tweet that I retweeted with Mark Price the other day?
No, I didn't see that one.
Mark Price basically called out the NBA today on switching everything.
Yeah.
Stop it. It's not working. And here's his point. Why are we switching a good defender or a great defender off of a dude and letting a bad defender guard that dude?
Yep.
See, that's league-wide. And that's what's happening. It's like Luka. Kawhi's on Luka, and he just switched off and just gave him up to another player. Why?
Yeah, I don't know why that's happening, yeah.
And that's happening league-wide. But the problem with the NBA is the freedom of movement, no fouls. I mean, it is what it is. Numbers are inflated. Numbers, anybody gets 30 anymore.
Yep. Yeah. It's crazy. I hope they fix it. I hope guys like Tibbs and at least the league's in a good spot with the young talent. I like guys like Zion and Anthony Edwards and John Morant coming up, and hopefully they can get the game going back in the right direction,
Well, it's not going to happen, in my opinion, because I've been told that in 2022, the NBA is going to go to 2 expansion teams, and one of them is going to be in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I believe it. In Seattle, probably.
I don't know who the second one is, but I do know some guys in Vegas that are involved in that, and they're putting the money up for the arena, and they've been almost assured that they're going to have a team 2022 in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So that means the league's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. The league needs to take 2 to 4 teams and get rid of them now. Adding 2 more teams, the NBA might not be watchable in the regular season.
I think who's going to save the NBA is prime Zion. Now, hear me out. He's got some Shaq qualities to him. He's so big and so dominant. If you keep him in the paint and let him dominate, teams are going to have to add bigs to defend him, right? And it's going to make the league bigger, right?
I don't know. Let's talk the Pelicans. You got Zion, you got Ingram, and you got Lonzo Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Are they underachievers or are they just what they are?
They're underachievers. They should have made the playoffs, and you know
Why are they underachievers?
that I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm sold on Lonzo. Ingram's a volume shooter. They should be playing more through Zion than Ingram thinks he's a number one option.
So now, okay, so now we're kind of getting our answer. Their roster's flawed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I don't know. See, Zion, let me ask you a question. If you had the draft tomorrow, do you take Ja or Zion?
Ja or Zion? I'm taking Zion, but I love Ja. That's 1 and 2.
I'll give you another question on draft. Let's go back to the Luka, Trey, Ayton, and Mobley draft. Is that draft changed now?
I'm going Luka. I think Luka is special.
What do you do with Ayton?
I like Ayton. I mean,
Where does he go 2? Does Ayton go 3? What do you do with Trey?
yeah. I mean, well, like you said, can you win with Trey? Not as your number one option, so I would think
That's the number one option. No.
Yeah.
No, you're not winning. You're not winning a chip with Trey's your number one option. I don't believe. Now, if you can get Trey to get a great second option and get Trey to play off the ball, maybe. But see, we got to wait till the last 4 teams standing and see how they attack him. See, remember last year in a bubble, guys like Freddie Van Fleet and Kemba, they got played off the floor late in the game. See, Trey gets attacked every possession, last 5 minutes. What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, and then last year we saw the Clippers disappear. You told me, you came on the podcast and said we got sold a bill of goods on the Clippers. Do you think they've learned, and do you think they're better? Was Doc Rivers part of the problem? Is Ty Lue fixing it, or is it a dudes thing? And is Kawhi and Paul George, at least Kawhi, stepping up? And are they? I mean, I think they'll go further this year, but have they fixed their flaws?
Clippers. The Clippers are interesting. We can have a conversation today about the Clippers, and we can say one thing, and then tomorrow we can watch them and come right back and say the damn opposite. I don't know. Here's my problem with the Clippers, and this is what I would tell Paul George and Kawhi. Man, when are you guys going to start taking it personal, all these guys lighting your ass up?
Yeah.
Because they give up big numbers to guards. I mean, Mitchell had 45 last night.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point in time, this narrative that they're these lockdown defenders needs to stop, because I watch guys light the Clippers up night after night. See, the problem with today, players don't take it personal. I'll give you an example. Maybe 10 years ago, point guards, they took it personal another point guard was getting out.
Yes, absolutely.
Today, these point guards don't give a fuck. They'll go hide in the corner. They don't care.
Yeah.
I don't get it. The NBA, to me, the NBA has no personal. It's not personal with them anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody get our numbers.
Yeah.
Let's all get our numbers. Let's all hug and let's all exchange jerseys and we'll go off in the sunset. I don't get that. The guy makes 45 on me. I don't want his goddamn jersey.
Yeah. Dustin, go number 12.
I actually had a question with what you guys were just talking about.
Okay.
All right, so do you think the Clippers adding Rondo during the playoffs
there you go.
has actually helped them? Because we've seen what it did for the Lakers, and the Lakers let him go, and they struggled this year.
Well, I think the Lakers miss Rondo. Rondo hasn't showed up yet in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of bright minutes, but he hasn't showed up yet. But I think the Lakers definitely missed him. But then again, Rondo's getting older too.
I think he's going to be a great coach when he finally decides to do it.
I'm sorry?
I think Rondo will be a hell of a coach when he finally finishes up his career. If that's what he wants.
You know what? Guys like Rondo, he could be a good coach. He could also be a bastard. And sometimes that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can't be soft and play for Rondo.
Well, that's why MJ didn't get into coaching, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, guys that are real smart. Draymond Green's another one.
Yeah.
Draymond Green's IQ's through the roof. But him being a coach, I don't know. He'd be a bastard.
Jason Naples tweeted he thinks the reason LeBron changed his number is because Draymond's going to the Lakers.
They can have him. Can I drive? I'll drive, Jermon. I'll drive. Why would the Lakers want Green?
I love Draymond Green.
You know, Draymond Green, what's funny about Draymond Green, you know, my daily battles with him and my tweets. My only problem with Draymond Green is you got to be an offensive threat to play.
Yeah, he's lost his confidence, right, in his shot.
He's lost. Yeah, he has no confidence in offense, and his skill sets have deteriorated.
Yeah.
I don't think Draymond Green could score 20 in an empty gym. But you know, it is what it is. But
would Rodman not work in today's game because of that?
You know, Rodman would have problems too. Well, see, but here's the difference between Rodman and Green. Rodman got you. I think Rodman was a much better rebounder than Green.
Yeah, I agree.
You see, here's the false narrative on Draymond Green, in my opinion. Draymond Green's a great team defensive player. Mm-hmm. Draymond Green's a great post defender. I'm not sure he's so great out in space on certain matchups. See, Rodman could go out in space and guard. Rodman was more athletic than Green.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. That's what I wanted Draymond to play better defense on Siakam at the end of that game against Toronto in the finals, but he allowed Siakam to go right to the rim.
Well, the other problem with Green, too, is it's just he puts the offense in the mud. But the problem with the Warriors with Green, as bad as he is on offense, is as great as he is for them on defense. So you're in a catch-22. But if we're but if we're going to play in an era where everything's offense and defense doesn't matter, then you have to adjust. Yeah. But then again, I still believe you have to be a top 10 team to win. Maybe I'm wrong. The Nets will prove it to me this year. Yeah. If the Nets don't win it this year, it'll be because of rebounding. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll say they were flawed the entire time. Dustin, do 12 and we'll get out of here on that.
All right, well, this is always the biggest topic. So who is the GOAT? Is LeBron in the discussion? Is he ahead of Kobe all the time? What about Shaq, Larry Bird, Hakeem, Wilt, Jerry West, and Rick Barry? I mean, who's the GOAT?
Well, first of all, let me go backwards. The most underrated player you mentioned in that group is Rick Barry.
Yeah.
Since 1968, I've seen them all. And most of them live at one point in time. Ain't nobody better than Kareem and Wilt. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Nobody.
Not even Jordan?
Nobody. Let me tell you about Kareem. Let me give you an answer to that. As great as Jordan is, would you agree with me that a Kobe or LeBron can be mentioned in the same conversation with Jordan? Is that fair?
I think Kobe can.
Yeah, they can. Yep.
They can't, right?
Yes.
There ain't nobody in Kareem and Wilt's conversation. In the story. Nobody. Kareem is the only dude that I've ever seen in my life. Once he cut the ball on the block, all you could do was hope he missed. There's no scheme. Send all five of your players to go right over the top of all five of them. And Wilt is the greatest athlete my eyes have ever seen. To see Wilt at 7'1" and whatever he was, 285, 300, run up and down the floor like a gazelle is eye-opening. You think LeBron's a great athlete? He's not close to Wilt.
The stories on Wilt are like Bo Jackson-esque. They're ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jim Brown told me to my face, ain't nobody like Wilt. Now, Jim Brown's going to tell you that.
You think Kareem's even better than Shaq?
Kareem's the greatest basketball player I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And Wilt, and I would say Wilt's right there behind. Wilt and Kareem are like 1A and 1A.5.
The MJ too, right?
I go Kareem Wilt, Jordan third. Now you can do the rest. I don't care.
Yeah, that's how I am.
But I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you a name he left off that list.
Yeah.
There's one name you left off that list. You know who it is, right?
Who's that?
Tim Duncan.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Fundamental. My favorite fact on Tim Duncan is he was a Ray Allen game winner away from being 6-0 in the finals.
That's right.
That's crazy.
The two most underrated players in NBA history is Rick Barry and Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, Hakeem. I love it. We just had Hakeem's teammate Chucky Brown on right before you came on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a good one. Chucky Brown's GOAT is Kareem.
I mean, the real ones know. See, here's the
Yep.
problem with Kareem and Will.
Yep.
If
I'm
you
jealous
wanna
that you got to see those guys, young Kareem and Prime Wilt.
And let me tell you something. You want to know what the greatest sporting event was in life?
Mm-hmm.
Was when Kareem and Will were playing on the Sunday matinee. Man, you think that was Super Bowl? You shut everything down and everybody got in front of the TV. There ain't never been a matchup like that.
That's awesome.
All right.
All right, well, appreciate you, Ricky G. This is awesome.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yep. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Have a great week, and peace out. All right. Right before we go out, don't forget to follow. Make sure everyone go follow at J Richard Goodman on Twitter. Best NBA talk and debate. Thanks, Dustin. That was a good job.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Peace out, guys.